Hi guys, so for starters, yes, there is 2 cats on my bed, and that is why my bed doesn't look very made, so I'm very sorry about that. But today I basically wanted to do like an FAQ kind of video because after I posted my last video, you know, I got messages and comments from people who I think, you know, had been recently diagnosed, or they knew someone that had been recently diagnosed and they wanted to know more information. And as like a disclosure, like the first thing I want to say is that when someone goes through chemotherapy, everyone's reaction is totally different. So don't think that your experience will be the exact same as mine if you are a person that's been recently diagnosed, and that's, yeah. Just don't expect the exact same thing. Everyone reacts to chemo differently. So basically this video is to either, if you're someone that has been recently diagnosed, you know someone that has been recently diagnosed and you're just looking for answers, or if you have questions about what happens during chemo, what's happened during my chemo, this is just basically the questions I get asked. This is basically just the questions I get asked majority of the time, and the questions that people mainly want to know about. The first thing that I mainly get asked is, how did you find out you had cancer? What were your symptoms? This is the thing. How lymphoma patients, like 80% of the time, get diagnosed is that a lymph node comes up, that pops up with a bump, pops up in their neck, and they usually go to a doctor, and then that usually leads to either a scan or a biopsy. So my diagnosis was very, very different. I'm going to try and keep this as short as I can. Basically, I just started 2 new jobs in the city. I was working heaps. I was looking for apartments with a couple of my girlfriends, and you know, my life was very hectic at the time. That put a strain on the tumor that was in my chest, and I started getting chest pains. It was very subtle, like it was only when I took like a deep breath in, so basically I just powered through and took short breaths and assumed that it would go away. Friday morning I woke up, I had a 10-hour day, 2 different jobs, and called my mom. Basically was like, Mom, I didn't get any sleep last night, this pain in my chest, like nothing's helping it. And she's like, just go to the emergency room, at least it'll be really quiet, it's a Friday morning. Long story short, had an x-ray to see if it could be something like a rib thing, like I'd pushed it out of place, or if it was a lung thing, like swollen lung or something. So after the x-ray I had a CT scan, and the CT scan pretty much showed that I had a tumor in my chest around the size of my heart. Completely unexpected, did not feel any symptoms that they thought I would have. The only symptom that I thought I had was this thing called like the itch. So it's like lymphoma patients get like a weird itch. It's kind of like, feels like you've been bitten by something but you actually haven't. And that was the only thing I could identify as a symptom. Everything else, like I didn't have any major weight loss, I didn't have night sweats, I didn't have major fatigue, like it was just like out of the blue. What is Hodgkins lymphoma? So what cancer do I have and what is it? I'm going to refer to this book that I got given when I first got diagnosed, because this is going to give you the exact definition. Lymphoma is a cancer of the lymphatic system, which is part of the immune system that protects the body against infection and disease. So I have Hodgkin's. Cancer of the lymphatic system. Tumours affect the lymph nodes as lymphoma cells lodge in the system, causing a lump, which you may find. These are normally close to the body surface, such as the armpit and the neck. Treatment depends on the stage of lymphoma. Most people need a combination of chemo and radiotherapy. So basically, if you know what leukemia is, which majority of people do, you know, like people do shave for a cure, I'm like under the same umbrella, like mine's like a blood cancer. Okay, next question is, what happens during your chemotherapy sessions? I have chemo every 2 weeks, currently every second Monday. Basically, I go to an oncology clinic about 40 minutes away from me. I pick a chair, like whatever chair I want that's free. They set me up with like these 4 combination of drugs, A, B, B, D, and they just go through my system one by one. It takes about 3 hours in total. The first 3 drugs take about 10 minutes depending if I have like a good vein or not. And then the last one, the D, I'm not going to try pronouncing it because I'm really bad at that, takes about an hour. So I'm there for about 3 hours every second week. And that's what happened during my chemo sessions. What do you do during the day? So if you were close to me before all this happened, you would know that I was a very busy person. Like, I literally only lied down to sleep. Like, I was very busy and I like to be busy. It just honestly depends on the day. If I'm having a good day, I'll try and go out and just like, even if it's like lunch or something, you know, or to a movie, something really easy. And yeah, if I'm having a bad day, it usually consists of Netflix. But for some reason the days have actually gone really fast. I don't know why. When are your bad days? So I know this is different for every single person that does chemo. Some people it's like day 3, some people it's day 5, like some people it's day 7. So for example, in each chemo cycle for me, for ABVD, I have 15 days. So day 1 is the day I have chemo, etc, etc. So my bad days hit around day 5. So usually, say for example, the Friday. I'll lead up to that by the Thursday, so I'll start to get a bit weak, and by Friday I'm usually like a zombie. And I get really low in energy. I might get some bad symptoms. Pretty much I just am not myself. I don't have any energy. I don't have any emotion really. That's my bad days, and they usually last for about 3 good days. So like my bad days last for 3 days. And then I slowly get back into normality, and you know, like symptoms disappear, my taste buds go back to normal, I get more energy, and that's usually when I try and, you know, see friends and go out and stuff like that. Is every round of chemo the same? No. Every round of chemo is completely different. My first 2 were the absolute worst. So my first month of chemo, I wasn't even, like, I couldn't even walk. I was crying, the amount of pain I was in. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do was that first month of chemo. I definitely, like, I was in and out of hospital. It wasn't fun. 3rd round of chemo, after having such a bad 2nd and 1st round, we went into it thinking, okay, let's expect the worst. And it got to my bad days and I wasn't feeling horrible. Like, it was actually like, oh, hang on. Is something supposed to happen? So no, every single round of chemo is very different. You know, I'll get to my bad days and sometimes I'm just a little tired and that'll be it. And then, yeah, I'll move on and have a good round. And then some rounds I'm completely exhausted, I'm in pain. And so yeah, every single round of chemo is different. How was losing your hair / shaving your head? When it came to shaving my head, wasn't as bad as I thought, because what basically happened, I got out of hospital and my hair had just like died. I had it in this tiny little ponytail and I literally could not brush through it. It had just gone dead. So mum had to like cut like these clumps out of my hair, and I was pretty much had this weird looking not salon design pixie cut for about like a week, and it continued to fall out. So I ended up looking like an old grandpa. Literally, my grandpa has had more hair than me than I had at this point. So when I shaved it, it honestly, it looked so bad that shaving it made it look better. But definitely, like, when I had to cut it down to that pixie cut and the hair just kept coming out, you know, and I first had to start wearing headscarves, that was probably the hardest, you know, stepping out in public with a headscarf on. That was difficult, but I know it's temporary, but I'm keen to have hair again. I'm really keen to have hair again. Last question is, why didn't you lose your eyebrows and eyelashes? Will you lose them eventually? So yeah, this is something that I was really unsure about going into it, because they kept saying, like, you know, you lose all your eyebrows, you lose your eyelashes, you lose your hair. I didn't lose it. I've got 2 more rounds to go and I have not seen any difference in my eyebrows or eyelashes. Of course, I've got a bit of mascara on today and I've just like done like with a pencil like my eyebrows, but like I don't have to completely draw them on. I've looked online and there's no scientific explanation. I think it's just a matter of luck. Some people do, some people don't. Usually people that battle breast cancer do lose their eyebrows and eyelashes, but it all depends on your, like, the combination of drugs they use for your cancer. So that's all the questions that I mainly get asked. I hope if you've just been diagnosed or know someone close to you, I hope this helped even a little bit. I know it's very, very scary. Especially the first week of diagnosis, when you first find out, you just want to know all the answers. And if you just came on here because you wanted to know more about, you know, what chemo is about and how it's been for me, I hope this has taught you something. once again, thank you to everyone for the support. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough for being the most supportive community. It makes me so grateful for everything. I don't even know the words to say. Just know that I'm so thankful for everything that you guys do, and yeah, hope that you learned something. So thank you very much, and have a great day.